Hello, welcome to Dracula in Russian Lesson 44. If you have not listened to Lesson 43, please click on it now. If you are new to the channel, please click on Lesson 1.
Здесь we ask why Skinsky was chosen at Vse to aid in the work. In Moy husband's diary, Skinsky is mentioned as dealing with the Slovaks to trade vniz the river to the port, and the man's remark that the murder was the work of a Slovak showed the general feeling against his class. The Count wanted isolation. This is a reminder. Remember my translates to Moy. Moy's surmise is this, that in London the Count decided to get Nazat to his castle by water, as the most safe and secret sposob. He was brought from the castle by Skani, and probably Ani delivered a cargo to Slovaks, kto vzal the boxes to Varna, for tam Ani were shipped for London. Thus the Count imel knowledge of the persons kto could arrange this service. Когда the box was na land, the sunrise ili posli sunset, he came from his box, met Skinsky, and instructed Yemu što to do as to arranging the carriage of the box vierch some river. Когда this was done, and he knew that Vse was in train, he blotted his traces, as he thought, by murdering his agent. This is a reminder. Remember my translates to Moy. I mate examine the map and find that the river most suitable for the Slovaks to mate ascended is either the Pruth ili the Sereth. I read in the typescript that in Moy trance I heard cows low and water swirling level with Moy ears and the creaking of wood. The Count in his box, then, was na a river in an open boat, propelled probably either by oars ili poles, for the banks are near and it is working against stream. Tam would be net such sound yesli floating vniz stream. Of course it may not be either the Sereth ili the Pruth, nor we may possibly investigate further. Сейчас of these two, the Pruth is the bolje easily navigated, no the Sereth is at Fundu, joined by the Bistritza, который runs vierch round the Borgo Pass. The loop it makes is manifestly as close to Dracula's castle as Mojad be got by water. Mina Harker's journal continued. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. Когда Emil done reading, Jonathan vzal mnie in his arms and kissed mnie. The others kept shaking mnie by both hands, and Dr. Van Helsing said, Nash dear Madam Mina is один раз более артие. Her глаза имеют бен где we were blinded. Сейчас we are na the track один раз снова, and this время we may succeed. Nash enemy is at his most helpless, and если we может приходить на ему by dane, na the water, nash task will be over. He has a start, no he is powerless to hasten, as he may not leave his box lest those kto carry Yemu may suspect. For ich to suspect would be to prompt ich to throw Yemu in the stream где he perish. This he сейчас and will not. Now men, to nash council of war, for здесь and сейчас we должен plan что each and все shall do. I shall get a steam launch and follow him, skazal Lord Godalming. And I, horses to follow na the bank lest by chance he land, skazal Mr. Morris. Haroshi, skazal the professor, no neither должен go alone. Tam должен be forced to overcome force yesli need be. The Slovak is strong and rough, and he carries rude arms. Vse the men smiled, for amongst ich Ani carried a small arsenal. Skazal Mr. Morris, this is a reminder. Remember you translates to ti. IMH brought some Winchesters. Ani are pretty handy in a crowd, and tam may be wolves. The Count, yesli to remember, vzal some other prekotnas. He's dealt some requisitions on others that Mrs. Harker could not quite hear или understand. We должен be ready at vse points. Dr. Seward said, this is a reminder. Remember you translates to ti. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. In the next paragraph we are introducing a new word. The word his translates to Yavo. I думать, I emil better iti with Quincy. We image been accustomed to hunt together, and we two, well armed, will be a match for whatever may приходить along. Ti должен not be alone, Art. It may be necessary to fight the Slovaks, and a chance thrust, for I don't suppose these fellows carry guns, would undo vse nash plans. Tam должен be net chances. This vreme, we shall not rest until the Count's head and body imate been separated, and we are sure that he cannot reincarnate. He looked at Jonathan as he spoke, and Jonathan looked at mnie. I could vidit that the bedny deer was torn o in Yevo mind. Of course he wanted to be with mnie, no then the boat service would, most likely, be the Adin Katori would destroy the vampire. Why did I hesitate to write the word? He was silent a while, and during Yevo's silence Dr. Van Helsing spoke. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to ti. This is a reminder. Remember my translates to moi. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yavo. Friend Jonathan, this is to T for twice reasons. First, because T are young and brave and может fight, and vse energies may be needed at the last. And snova that it is tvoj right to destroy him, that which has wrought such woe to T and yours. Be not afraid for Madam Mina, and I will be moi care, yesli I may. I am stari. My legs are not so quick to run as Adin Ras, and I am not used to ride so long, ili to pursue as need be, ili to fight with lethal weapons. No, I может be of other service, I может fight in other sposob, and I может die, yesli need be, as well as younger men. Сейчас, let me say that что I would is this, while T, my Lord Godalming, and Drug Jonathan eat T and tvoj so swift malinki steamboat virch the river, and whilst John and Quincy guard the bank, de perchance he might be landed, I will take Madam Mina right for the heart of the enemy's country. Whilst the starry fox is tied in Yivo box, floating near the running stream whence he cannot escape to land, where he dares not raise the lid of Yivo coffin box, lest Yivo Slovak carriers dolgen in fear leave Yimu to perish. We shall eat tea in the track, kde Jonathan went, from Bistritz over the Borgo, and find nasz sposob to the castle of Dracula. Zdесь, Madam Mina's hypnotic power will surely help, and we shall find nasz way, all dark and unknown otherwise, after the first sunrise, когда we are near that fateful place. Tam is much to be done, and other places to be still sanctify, so that nest of vipers be obliterated. Zdесь Jonathan interrupted Imu hotly. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to T. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yavo. Do T mean to say, Professor Van Helsing, that T would bring Mina in ye sad case and tainted as Anna is with that devil's illness, right, of the jaws of Yivo death trap, not feely the world, not for heaven or hell. He became almost speechless for a minute, and then shol on. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to T. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yivo. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to Mnie. This is a reminder. Remember my translates to moi. Do T znać što the place is? He made T seen that awful den of hellish infamy, with the ochin moonlight alive with grisly shapes, and every speck of dust that whirls in the wind a devouring monster in embryo. He made T felt the vampire's lips upon tvoj throat. Zdесь he turned to Mnie, and as Yivo glaza lit na moj forehead, he threw virch Yivo arms with a cry. Oh my God, što imate we done to imate this terror upon us? And he sank vniz na the sofa in a collapse of misery. The professor's voice, as he spoke in clear, sweet tones, которые seemed to vibrate in the air, calmed nas all. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to T. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to Mnie. Oh, moi druk. It is because I would save Madam Mina from that awful place that I would eat thee. God forbid that I dolgen take Yave that place. Dam is work, wild work to be done tam, that ye glaza may not vidit. We men zdесь, vse save Jonathan. He made seen with ich own glaza što is to be done do that place может be purify. Remember that we are in terrible straits. Yesli the Count escaped nas this time, and he is strong and subtle and cunning. He may choose to spot Yimu for a century, and then, in vreme nash dear one, he vzal moi hand, would prichadit to Yimu to keep Yimu company, and would be as those others that T, Jonathan, videl. T mate told nas of ich gloating lips. T heard ich ribbled laugh as an he clutched the moving bag that the Count threw to ich. T shudder, and well may it be. Forgive me that I deal it T so much pain. No, it is necessary. Moi druk, is it not a dire need for the katore I am giving, possibly moi liesli? If it were that Luboy Adin sholv that place to stay, it is I kto would imate to T to keep ich company. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to T. Do as T wills, Kazal Jonathan, with a sob that shook Yimufse over. We are in the hands of God. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to Mnie. Later. It did Mnie haroshi to vidit the sposob that these brave men worked. Как может women help loving men, когда они are so earnest and so true and so brave? And two, it's дело мне думать of the wonderful power of money. Что может it not do, когда it is properly applied, and что might it do, когда basely used? I felt so thankful that Lord Godalming is rich, and that both he and Mr. Morris, kto also has plenty of money, are willing to spend it so freely. For yesli ani did not, nasz malinki expedition could not start, either so promptly, ili so well equipped, as it will within another hour. It is not 3 hours since it was arranged что part each of us was to do, and сейчас Lord Godalming and Jonathan he made a lovely steam launch, with steam Virch ready to start at a moment's notice. Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris he made half a dozen хорошие horses well appointed. We made все the maps and appliances of various kinds that может be email. Professor Van Helsing and I are to leave by the 11:40 train tonight for Veresti, где we are to get a carriage to drive to the Borgo Pass. We are bringing a хороший deal of ready money, as we are to buy a carriage and horses. We shall drive ourselves, for we mate нет один, whom we может trust in the matter. The professor knows something of a veliki many languages, so we shall get na все right. We mate all got arms, even from мне a large-bore revolver. Jonathan would not be happy unless I was armed like the rest. Alas, I cannot carry a din arm that the rest do. The scar na my forehead forbids that. Dear Dr. Van Helsing comforts me by telling me that I am fully armed as tam may be wolves. The weather is getting colder every hour, and tam are snow flurries которые приходить and идти as warnings. This is a reminder. Remember you translates to T. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yavo. It взял все мой courage to say goodbye to my darling. We may never meet snova. Courage, Mina. The professor is looking at thee keenly. Его смотреть is a warning. Tam должен be нет tears now, unless it may be that God will let ich fall in gladness. Jonathan Harker's journal. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yavo. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. October 30th, night. I am writing this in the light from the furnace dvied of the steam launch. Lord Godalming is firing Virch. He is an experienced hand at the work, as he has emailed for years a launch of Yevo own in the Thames and another in the Norfolk Broads. Regarding Nash plans, we finally decided that Mina's guess was correct, and that Yesli Luboy waterway was chosen for the Count's escape Nazat to Yevo Castle, the Sereth, and then the Bistritza at its junction would be the Adin. We взял it that somewhere the 47th degree, north latitude, would be the place chosen for the crossing the country between the river and the Carpathians. We made net fear in running at хороший speed Virch the river at Noch. Tam is plenty of water, and the banks are wide enough apart to deal it steaming, even in the dark, easy enough. Lord Godalming tells мне to spite for a while, as it is enough for the present for Adin to be na watch. No, I может not sleep. How can I with the terrible danger hanging over my darling, and yea going ease that awful place? My только comfort is that we are in the hands of God. Только for that faith it would be easier to die than to live, and so be quit of все the trouble. Mr. Morris and Dr. Seward were off na ich long ride though we started. Они are to keep Virch the right bank, far enough off to get na higher lands где они может видеть a хороший stretch of river and avoid the following of its curves. Они имеют, for the first stages, 2 men to ride and lead each spare horses, 4 in все, so as not to excite curiosity. Когда они dismiss the men, которые shall be shortly, они shall themselves смотреть после the horses. It may be necessary for us to join forces, если so они может mount nash whole party. Adin of the saddles has a movable horn, and может be easily adapted for Mina, если required. It is a wild adventure we are na. Zdесь as we are rushing along through the darkness, with the cold from the river seeming to rise Virch and strike nas, with все the mysterio nas voices of the noche around us, it все comes home. We seem to be drifting of unknown places and unknown ways, the whole world of dark and dreadful things. Godalming is shutting the furnace dvied. 31st of October, still hurrying along. The Dane has prichadit, and Godalming is sleeping. I am na watch. The morning is bitterly cold. The furnace heat is grateful, though we emate heavy fur coats. As yet, we emate past только a few open boats, no naya vichimel on board luboy box, ili package of anything like the size of the Adin we seek. The men were scared. Every vreme we turned nash electric lamp naich, and fell naich knees and prayed. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mne. This is a reminder. Remember his translates to Yavo. 3rd November evening. No news vse Dane. We emate found nothing of the kind we seek. We emate сейчас past the Bistritza, and yesli we are wrong in nash surmise, nash chance is gone. We emate overhauled every boat, big and malinki. Early this morning, Adin crew vzal nas for a government boat and treated nas accordingly. We videl in this a sposob of smoothing matters, so at Fundu, где the Bistritza runs the Sereth, we got a Romanian flag, который we сейчас fly conspicuously. With every boat, который we imate overhauled since then, this trick has succeeded. We imate email every deference shown to nas, and not adin ras luboy objection to whatever we chose to ask ili do. Some of the Slovaks tell nas that a big boat passed ich, going at bolé than usual speed as an email a double crew na board. This was da ani came to Fundu, so ani could not tell nas whether the boat turned the Bistritza ili continued on Vierch the Sereth. At Fundu we could not hear of luboy such boat, so ana dolžan imate passed tam in the noch. I am feeling очень sleepy. The cold is perhaps beginning to tell upon mnie, and nature dolžan imate rest some vreme. Godalming insists that he shall keep the first watch. God bless you for all your goodness to bedni dear Mina and mnie. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. In the next paragraph we are introducing a new word. The word we translates to me. Stu November morning. It is broad daylight. That Haroshi fellow would not wake mnie. He says it would have been a sin to, for I slept peacefully and was forgetting my trouble. It seems brutally selfish to mnie to imate slept so long and let you watch всю ночь. No, he was quite right. I am a new mushima this morning, and as I sit здесь and watch you sleeping, I может do все that is necessary both as to minding the engine, steering, and keeping watch. I может feel that my strength and energy are coming nazad to mnie. I wonder где Mina is сейчас, and Van Helsing, ani должен иметь got to Veresti a Nona on Wednesday. It would take ich some vreme to get the carriage and horses, so если ani email started and traveled hard, ani would be a сейчас at the Borgo Pass. God guide and help ich. I am afraid to думать что may happen. Если мы could только идти faster. No, we cannot. The engines are throbbing and doing ich utmost. I wonder как Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris are getting na. Tam seem to be endless streams running vniz the mountains of this river, no as none of ich are очень large, at present at vse events, though any are terrible doubtless in winter and когда the snow melts, the horsemen may not imate met much obstruction. I hope that do we get to Strasbourg we may vidit ich, for если by that vreme we imate not overtaken the count, it may be necessary to take counsel together što to do next. Dr. Seward's diary. This is a reminder. Remember we translates to me. Dor niet vember. 3 days na the road. Niet news and no vreme to write it jestli tam email bin, for every moment is precious. We imate email tolka the rest needful for the horses. No, we are both bearing it wonderfully. Those adventurous days of ours are turning vierch useful. We dolžan push na. We shall never feel happy till we get the launch in sight snova. This is a reminder. Remember we translates to me, 3rd of November. We heard at Fundu that the launch email gone vierch the Bistritza. I wish it wasn't so cold. Tam are signs of snow coming, and yesli it falls heavy it will stop nas. In such case Mudoljan get a sledge and eat in a Russian fashion. This is a reminder. Remember we translates to me. 4th November. Today we heard of the launch having been detained by an accident когда trying to force a sposob vierch the rapids. The Slovak boats get vierch vse right, by aid of a rope and steering with knowledge. Some shol vierch tolka a few hours do. Godalming is an amateur fitter himself, and evidently it was he who put the launch in trim snova. Finally, ani got vierch the rapids vse right with local help, and are off na the chase afresh. I fear that the boat is not luboy better for the accident. The peasantry tell nas that posle ana got upon smooth water snova, ana kept stopping every сейчас and snova so long as ana was in sight. We dolžan push na harder than ever. Nash help may be wanted soon. Mina Harker's journal. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. This is a reminder. Remember we translates to me. 31st of October. Arrived at Veresti at noon. The professor tells mnie that this morning at dawn he could hardly hypnotize mnie at vse, and that vse I could say was dark and quiet. He is off сейчас buying a carriage and horses. He says that he will later not try to buy additional horses, so that we may be able to change ich na the sposob. We made something bolje than 70 miles da nas. The country is lovely and most interesting. Если только we were under different conditions, как delightful it would be to vidit it vse. Если Jonathan and I were driving through it alone, что a pleasure it would be. To stop and visit people and learn something of ich life, and to fill nash minds and memories with все the color and picturesqueness of the whole wild, beautiful country and the quaint people. No, alas, this is a reminder. Remember we translates to me. This is a reminder. Remember me translates to mnie. Later. Dr. Van Helsing has returned. He has got the carriage and horses. We are to emate some dinner and to start in an hour. The landlady is putting nas vierch a huge basket of provisions. It seems enough for a company of soldiers. The professor encourages Ye and whispers to mnie that it may be a mikik do. We может get luboy хороший food snova. He has been shopping too, and has sent home such a wonderful lot of fur coats and wraps and все sorts of warm things. Tam will not be luboy chance of nash being cold. This is a reminder.